Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Weekly Allowance, the world's only Yeti review show. This holiday weekend we are looking at Mezco's new set, Doc Nocturnal and the Case of the Shrieking Yeti. So it is worth noting that Mezco has come out, or is in the process of coming out with, an entirely different Doc Nocturnal set that is actually Christmas themed. It's got Krampus, it's got Doc in a Santa suit. This is not that. They released that really quickly after releasing this, but this was released before Thanksgiving, I think. But anyway, here we are, Doc Nocturnal in the Case of the Shrieking Yeti. As you know, we are big Doc Nocturnal fans from the very first iteration, and we're also Yeti fans. As you can see, it's a very large box, very involved. As always, you get some beautiful artwork on it. This looks like Doc coming across a monk that has run afoul of the Yeti. Not sure, but usually there is a comic book inclusion in these things that has a little story, so it might be in that. Yeah, really cool art. So since it is a large package, I'm going to attempt to unbox this gracefully. It might not end up that way. Looks like we've got some more really nice comic book type art on the inside of the box. I could go on and on about this kind of art, but I'll try not to. I majored in comic books, believe it or not, so I have a lot to say. Positive in this case, but you're here for the toy. We usually get these kind of inserts with some art on them, so this is basically just the box art in this insert format. You could frame it if you want it. And here is that comic book I talked about. Doc Nocturnal usually comes with something like this. Actually, a lot of the Rumble Society characters do, but Doc in particular is a pulp character, and so they make sure to tie that into these comic books. And this is like a proper comic book, even thicker than your standard issue. So excited to read that. And here they are. Here is our Yeti. Here is our Duck. So a character that is usually in black and red is now in white and blue. Love that color scheme. Excited to take a look at him. And then you get the nice extras that these usually come with. Stands, a little bag for the accessories. Warnings and whatnot, extra warnings, because I think the Yeti lights up, so he comes with a battery, some directions so you don't break your new figure, and a continuation of that comic book art on the very inside of the box. So really nice packaging. It's something that you kind of hate to throw away. Doc gets these two clamshells. The Yeti just gets the one, but that's okay because he's a big boy. He does come with some extra accessories. So let's take this stuff out and then we shall retire to the review room. Alright, here we are in the usual spot, looking at our Doc Nocturnal and Yeti. A much different color scheme than we're used to seeing from Doc Nocturnal. He and the Yeti are blowing out my lights a little bit, but that's okay. Fix it in post. So I think this is the newer Doc Nocturnal body. When he first debuted, he was in more of a slender, svelte body, which I've said before that I prefer, and I still do, just because it defies expectations a little bit. He's this kind of pulp fiction, larger than life hero, but he was kind of a a slender, scrawny guy, and I really liked that. But then they gave him a kind of an updated look. I think technically it's supposed to be just a different iteration of the character. But anyway, he's a little bit beefier now. Anyway, all that is to say is that comparatively, he's, you know, a standard-sized Mezco, but still kind of a bigger character. Certainly not as small as the original Doc Nock. But this Yeti towers over him. This thing is huge. Just for a quick comparison, right in the middle of the video, I'm going to show him next to Mosquatch. Mosquatch is a very large character as well, but the Yeti is even bigger. Mosquatch thicker as far as body plan goes, but Yeti, he's got the height. So let's go over Doc Nocturnal first. For a while, they had not shown us what Doc Nocturnal's face looked like. He always came with just a mask, a skull mask to wear. Per the last release, I think, now we know that he is like a zombie type of guy. Let's undo his belt so we can get a better look at what he's rocking under that coat. I don't mean to sound disrespectful about it. Very robust Velcro. Ooh, that is a nice sweater, my guy. Look at that sweater. My favorite color. I need one just like that. Looking very, very stylish. And I love the silvery, like, mylar material on the inside of the hood. That's beautiful. Oh, on the inside of the entire coat, actually. Yeah, adds some really nice contrast. His pants are made of the same coat material. Even on the back, you get this applique right here, this threading that is in the style of his usual costume. He's usually rocking some spider webs, some skull motifs, so you get that there, and it's really subtle, and that is a great touch. Little fur trim around it. What a stylish guy. Even when he's out in the Arctic, where probably no one else besides some monks and a Yeti will see him, he's still fashion forward. So we do get a masked head with him, but he came with this head attached. The zombie head, the zombie look. He's got this plug in the back. I forget what it's for, but in other figures it could come out, which is dangerous. Very dangerous, because this is tiny. Oh yeah, it can come out. Oh, it's so small. It's so small. Definitely scared to lose that. So underneath the sweater, I think he's just got a blank Mezco body. But there is this neck piece where he's got a little, what you're meant to think is the collar of another shirt under there. So yeah, I think a lot of this is just recolor, which is fine. But yeah, the soft goods are completely new, at least to this Doc Nocturnal. So quickly, let's go over articulation with him, because we probably already know kind of what the gist is going to be. And I'm really excited to get to the Yeti and the accessories. You know, we've seen Doc before. We kind of know more or less what he can do. The only thing that's going to be a deciding difference is how much his clothing restricts him. This coat is pretty bulky, so it might get in the way. You've got a neck joint, which I always love. So the sweater is sewn into the pants, which further restricts movement, but not bad, I don't think. And it's worth it to look that fly. Pants have this spandex material sewn into the boot. So yeah, it might be a little restricting with the sweater, pants, and coat combo. You can take the coat off if you want, but not that restricting. I mean, even me, the world's worst poser, got him in a really cool action pose relatively easily. So yeah, Doc Nocturnal is always a really fun one to play around with. Love this guy. I've loved him since the beginning. You'll always be my short king, Doc Nocturnal. So let's look at Yeti, because he is new. Oh, he's got my scrunchie. And he needs it too. Look at this hair. I guess on a Yeti, is it fur or is it hair? So crazy, awesome sculpt on this guy. I'm going to remove his faceplate just so I can get him closer to the camera, so you guys can see how awesome this sculpt is. It's very deep, very recessed. There's a lot of dimensionality to it. Beautiful paintwork. It looks like a carved mask. That's part of why both Patrick and I really wanted this Yeti, is that it's a very unique character design, and it resembles like the old Buddhist Tibetan masks, these crazy creature masks based on mythology from the region, and it takes heavy inspiration from those. Just a beautiful creature. Scary, of course. The hands are crazy, the feet are crazy. It's mainly those claws. Goes from a dirty brown to a dirty white with a heavy, heavy gloss on there. So he's not filing or buffing his nails, but he is shining them for sure. The back is fairly plain. I mean, most of this is just a body that's hidden by fur. In my experience so far, he's been a little bit difficult to manipulate just because I don't know where the seams on him are. I don't know where his joints are. Kind of have to feel it out. I'm being very careful because I don't want to accidentally break him. So it feels to me that there is a sewn bodysuit over this plastic body underneath. So it's kind of stretching with movement, but it is definitely difficult to tell how much you can move him. But the good thing about this is that you don't really need a Yeti to do anything too crazy. It's already crazy the way it is. There's a little bit of a twist. You get some head movement. And these hands are on ball joints. I think the feet are too. So pretty good articulation on this guy, even though it is a little bit difficult to tell what you can do with him. Just be careful and be respectful and you'll be fine. All right, so it's been a while since we've gone through Doc Nocturnal's collection of gadgets. So let's go ahead and do that. Introducing Doc Nocturnal, the monster that hunts monsters, and his collection of supernatural gadgets. Tracking device. Upgraded ferryman with revolving chamber. Knife. Snowshoes for trekking across the icy wastes. Icebreaker grenades. Hades Inferno grenades. 2. Ice axes. 1 entrenching tool. Iron talon grappling claw. Folding double karambit. Extended grapple claw. Climbing tool. Yeti trap. And another gun! These are just a few of the things that Doc Nocturnal keeps in his supernatural arsenal. Okay, now that that is done with, it's also worth noting he comes with this cloak, and it looks like a harness inside as well. He'll also come with another head and some goggles, so this will be his, well, I say another head, but it's his mask. It looks like, just like in the last release, or at least the one we got, it just slips on. Ooh, that is a nice, icy, pearlescent mask. And some very nice goggles. Super detailed on those guys. Tiny little lenses. You just slip this over his normal head in a way that makes me nervous. Oh yeah, I forgot. I think we had this problem with the last one. When this plug is in, the mask doesn't want to go on, so I'll take that out. I might have to break those Ziploc baggies out so I can make sure that doesn't get lost. Yeah, you just put this mask over his face and get the red eyes peeking through. Very scary. Okay, let's see what this cloak and this harness is all about. The harness makes me nervous a little bit just because I'm usually not good at attaching these things. So yeah, the cloak is simple. It just will slide over his head, it looks like. Tiny little rivets, looks nice. Nice addition. So I think to attach this harness, he needs to have his belt on. So let's button this guy back up, give him his belt back. Okay, now. Oh man, it's got those tiny little hooks. Famously, I'm bad at hooking these things in. For an artist, my fingers are not very nimble, and my fingernails are very short and weak. So it's, oh, its belt just popped right off. It's a little bit difficult. We'll give it the old college try though, won't we, Doc? Get in there. Get in there. So this goes to the bottom. You can hook this holster thingy on. I might have to do all this off camera because it's difficult to do this at a distance. I will do that, and maybe when you see Doc Nocturnal again, he'll be all harnessed out. I will say that this belt buckle wants to keep unclasping, so I hope that's not going to be a problem. I think if you move him too much, especially in the middle, it will probably want to undo. But why the harness, you ask, besides looking really cool? All the tools and gadgets we went over can attach to this. Well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them can. In addition, I mean, some of them are very involved, actually. Like the entrenching tool actually folds. The ice picks fold. A lot of folding. This thing folds up. So really nice, really satisfying folding on these things. Oh, and before we continue on, I want to mention that his watch, as always, opens up. So yeah, it's always something that Doc has. that can open. And this Yeti bear trap actually is supposed to work too. Let's see. So you press down like that, and then when you step on it with your little fingy, ow! That actually did sting a little bit, but yeah, it is a functional bear Yeti finger trap. So let's see what all stuff we can put on this bad boy. These grenades can be slipped into this little area. And as always, you don't have to do this at all. I mean, he looks cool, I'm sure, fully kitted out, but he'd also look cool with just his nice little sweater. As you can see, the belt came unclasped again. This might be an issue. Oh man. I really cannot seem to work my fingers well enough to get it back together. Okay, please stay. So yeah, we got some grenade action there. Communication tool pocket. I'm afraid that the belt's going to come off again when I put this in. I've mentioned this before, probably too many times, and you're probably sick of it, depending on how much you watch this channel, but I am kind of far away. Like in the camera view, it looks like I'm right up on the toy probably, but I'm not. I'm an arm's length away, and while my arms are short, that's still kind of a long distance to be trying to finagle all this stuff, because I can't really see it well and I can't manipulate it well. So if I look clumsy doing this, I'm really sorry. So communication tool right there. Plug the ferryman into this holster. And because I did that section in black and white, you might have, well, you definitely would have missed the color on all these things, but you'll see as I put them in, they're beautiful. Beautiful iridescent blues. You've got mattes and iridescents and different shades of blue. And man, I love icy blue so much. My ultimate favorite color. That was honestly a big reason why I wanted this set. Just like the drip is immaculate. You can slip the knife up in here. Part of the knife is still showing, but that's okay. Doc Nock lives on the edge. This thingy attaches through here. Right, we got that without any trouble. The iron claw will slip in through here. And I don't think any of this is written in stone. You can put these things wherever you want. I mean, in some areas it might not work, but you can try. You can put these Inferno grenades right here. At least that's what the diagram says. I'm not going to because I don't think that these will actually hold these well. I mean, I'm sure they will, but I'm going to be moving it around a lot and I don't want to drop anything because there's no bottom to this. It's just an elastic band, and I think these could slip out pretty easily. The entrenching tool folds up and can go in here. The ice picks are meant to slip in through here. So you got these little tiny hooks. So they're just kind of dangling by his side. And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, snowshoes that can clip onto this hook here. But I want to put them on him so we can see what we're dealing with. He's got a hole in his feet. There's a peg on the snowshoes. There's also a tiny little Doc Nocturnal symbol, and the webbing of the snowshoes themselves is more mimicry of that classic Doc Nocturnal spider webbing. So that is a very cool detail. They always go above and beyond with this guy. So these just slip onto the feet. Man, he is he's ready to go. This guy is ready to go. Let's also put his cloak on. This guy looks so cool, and he knows he looks cool. I bet he's the kind of guy who pretends to be stoic and doesn't care about the way he looks or how he's perceived, but he wants to be extra. In addition, you get a ton of hands for this guy. I mean, this set is just chock full of accessories. So let's give him a trigger finger hand. So yeah, a hand for every occasion, it looks like. Splayed out hands, relaxed hands, hands that are going like this for whatever reason, maybe signaling that he's peaceful. Trigger finger hands, fists gripping things hands. Lots of hands. But that's not all, lest we forget about our friend the Yeti. But that is not all for our Yeti friend. He gets 2 alternate head portraits. So this one is more of a relaxed look. His teeth aren't bared. They're just out because they're always out because of the way his skull is. So still scary, but not quite as. But then we've got this beast mode face. Just mouth completely open. A very baboon-like, terrifying. He is extra angry here. Also, these tusks are very sharp, and the plastic is not rubbery, so I would be careful. They're not showing any intention of being brittle, but I would try to keep the integrity of those points. But yeah, awesome faces. One more thing is this horn. There are spikes on it. I can't get it out of the package. It's a spiky horn. Ooh, very spiky, actually. This is the mystical horn that summons the Yeti or something. I don't really know. But again, just a beautiful design and sculpt. Scary, scary looking. Nice metallic finish. It's heavy too. So the Yeti does have a light up function, which to be honest is something that I could do without. I mean, I'm not really into like those kinds of gimmicks, but the set was cool enough, you know, without that. It definitely wasn't a deciding factor or anything. So it has a light up function where you can hold the horn to the face and the eyes light up, including that third eye, I think. So I'm going to put the batteries in and we can check that out. To do that, you need to remove his face, and then inside will be the battery compartment. Ooh, take that out. So there's some batteries already in there, but to get it working, I did have to remove this and insert it back in. Maybe to kind of activate it, I'm not sure. Anyway, you hold the horn against it and the eyes light up. I'm going to dim my own lights so you can actually see it because the effect is a little bit dim itself. Yeah, it's pretty basically unnoticeable, actually. Let me turn off this other light and this one. So if you're in really dim conditions or in complete darkness, you can notice, but otherwise it's really not much of an effect. Unless mine is defective in some way and it's supposed to be brighter. So if you wanted the set based on the light up function alone, I would recommend against that. Because honestly, it's hard for me to see even if it's lit up or not. But it's a cool idea. So replacing the face is as easy as just taking it out. Taking out that battery box still lit up. Couldn't even tell. And then shoving the new face into the head. Are you on? Or are you off? Doc's belt keeps wanting to undo. I think that will be a problem if you are going the belt-centric route. Maybe it'll be okay once you get him kind of more settled and in place. And you saw this in the beginning, but they also come with stands, including just a circular stand to peg into, or a stand with a arm. So now that we are almost done, let's get into comparisons. So here they are with a Marvel Legend, but it's a rather uncommon Marvel Legend, and I don't mean that it's rare or anything, I just mean that it's uncommonly large. Of course, this is a Juggernaut, so you can kind of see how the Yeti compares. This is a huge figure. It's one of the largest ones we have, so comparatively, it makes the Yeti look a little bit small, but the Yeti's not small. It's pretty big. This is just a big guy. I don't like looking at him, so let's get him out of here. Here is the G.I. Joe Polar Bear. What a great figure. I still love this one. So yeah, still in comparison to Doc Nocturnal, still a little bit small for a polar bear, but it could be like an adolescent or something. Oh no. Oh no, Doc, no. He's afraid of polar bears. Probably wise. So yeah, polar bear would be great in this wintry set. He could stumble upon a polar bear, be dealing with that, and then have to deal with this big monster. And I wanted to go ahead and bring out some other Doc Nocs. This is the OG, the original Doc Nocturnal. You can see how much smaller he is. Quite a design change, actually. I don't know, I just love the svelte look more, smaller look. And this is the newer version, so you can see that skull mask over the zombie head. Spider motif on a beefier body. This one is less pulpy, more tactical, and they both blend in with my Christmassy background. So you can see this is quite a deviation from the usual Doc Noc, and so was the Christmas set they just came out with Krampus and a Santa Claus type Doc Nocturnal. And finally, I couldn't resist an opportunity to bring out Doc Nocturnal's Frog Butler. I love him so much. It's Woodford. Unfortunately, Woodford could not join Doc Nocturnal on this adventure because when frogs get cold, they go to sleep. So he would have just gotten too sleepy. But yeah, great set. Super happy with it. Doc Nocturnal is always a blast. He always comes with some crazy accessories. It's always more or less kind of the same thing, like always the Inferno grenades, the ferryman, stuff like that. Of course, you get a lot of new stuff in this set with the ice-themed accessories. But while the base weapons and base accessories might stay the same, they do differ a little bit from release to release. So, oh, there goes your belt again. Why? Yeah, and these grenades are already slipping out. The harness is a cool idea. It's not really going to be practical if you're playing around with him. If you want them on the shelf looking cool, yeah, I think the harness will be fine. Or if you're just like taking pictures, but otherwise, this thing is kind of a mess. Stuff wants to come out of it. It wants to, the belt keeps wanting to become ungovernable. I think most of my time spent on this review was me trying to buckle his belt. Oh, and this thing came undone. Oh no, it's all falling apart right here at the end. Get back in there. It's not really in, but the illusion is there. It's fine. So I'm gonna sign off before this belt unbuckles itself again. Despite the despite the finicky harness and the belt that doesn't want to stay buckled. It's a great set. I love it. Love the designs, love the color scheme. The light up function is there, I guess. But not only that, if you care about packaging and artwork, the packaging is beautiful, and it comes with that cool comic book. It's a thick comic book, so you get an extra little story, some more art to gaze at. So yeah, really awesome set. Icy theme just in time for Christmas. So as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Did you get the Yeti set, or did you get the Krampus set, or did you get both, or did you get neither? All are good answers. So as always, likes and subscribes very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome, and I will see you guys on the next one.